After all this woke Hollywood destroying perfectly good franchises,
I won't be back.
You'd have thought that what they needed to create was a new franchise, with which they could do anything they like. They could, for instance, cast a Jewish woman as an action star, and maybe create some sort of cabal which is in charge of the world but trying to save it, not destroy or control it. Honest. Nudge nudge, wink wink. You could call it something progressive like the Charter to protect the world from straight white men and to give a leg up to anyone who isn't the former. Obviously that's a bit long, so they'd probably just shorten it to the Charter. And this charter has a supercomputer called the Heart that can predict the future and tell them what is most likely to happen next. It is so accurate that it appears to know everything and is infallible. This way they can catch all those sneaky blokes who appear to be nice and unassuming. They may be helping old people across the road. They may be giving money to charity, and they're always there to help you move house. Then you drop your wallet and they come running up to give it to you. But in reality, behind locked doors, they cackle and laugh maniacally at how the piteous fools of the world are falling for their ruse because they're really evil patriarchists, bent on being good fathers, good providers, and bettering themselves, and maintaining Western society for everyone, regardless of where they came from. At least that's probably what they're doing. Who knows? Next you need an evil white man as the bad guy, because if you don't have a straight white male bad guy, then the name of the organization doesn't really make sense. He needs to be big and tough, but with a vaguely annoying face. Someone like that guy from that bondage movie that was a fanfic of those awful teen vampire movies. The bloke whose name sounds like a German bomber from World War II. James Dornier or something. Okay, so now we're getting somewhere, but we need a hacker. Now, what country would a con artist computer hacker come from? Of course! What could be more progressive than a minority from a majority country like, say, India, where all the computer con artists come from? And obviously a female, because we need those feminist points. And she's going to be a bad guy. Not a bad guy, because she's a girl. So we'll give her the redemption arc. So she starts with the baddies, I mean straight white men, but realizes she was wrong and starts to help the progressives, I mean good guys. And finally, she is pardoned for all her crimes. All the hacking, stealing, and murders she was an accessory to, because she can't be bad. She's the wrong race and gender. Next, we need some MI6 agents. They're minor characters that no one is supposed to care about because we're going to get rid of them pretty quickly. Okay, here we are, Chinese girl with English accent, and this token Englishman, because I guess we should try and actually represent the native population of the country they're spying for. And now the only thing left is a very thin plot. And a script that is a fanfic of Mission Impossible. Oh, and obviously we need a diverse majority female soundtrack. Gotta tick those boxes. Now let's have a closer look at the story. Hang on, I just need to find my magnifying glass. Here we go. So, Gal Gadot, sorry, that's what my partner calls Gal Gadot, and it's kind of stuck. So the movie starts off with a bunch of MI6 agents in a van at a ski resort, where they are trying to capture an illegal arms dealer, or something, for some reason, from a casino at a ski resort. Gal Gadot, Gadot, plays rookie MI6 agent Rachel Stone, who is not a field agent, even though she is with a group of field agents that are working in the field. She's instead a tech girl, and she is needed to do a bit of hacking. She needs to hack into the phone of the casino head of security so that she can get the real field agents into the casino undetected. But for some reason, she is cut off from their network. And instead of thinking, how did I get cut off? Why did I get cut off? She instead thinks, oh no, I've been cut off. The only way to continue is to get within a short distance of the chief of security. Who knows why? The details don't matter. What matters is that the rookie non-field agent is now going to have to be a field agent and get out of the van. The other MI6 agents are made up of Chinese girl with English voice and token Englishman. Oh, and big Irish guy. They make their way into the casino and spot their target. But oh no! As they are trying to inject him with a heart attack inducing drug, they get found out and have to fight their way out. Big Irish guy gets hold of their target and is making his way down the mountain in a cable car while the others run for their car. But Stone, aka Gal Gadot, has a sudden ankle injury, so Chinese girl with English voice and token Englishman leave her behind to try and save big Irish guy from a bunch of bad guys who are waiting for the cable car. Rachel then catches a glimpse of bad Indian hacker girl, who is obviously taunting Rachel by being annoying and smug. Suddenly Rachel Stone is fine, and she puts a thing in her ear, and she is connected to her real employers, the Charter, to protect the world from straight white men and to give a leg up to anyone who isn't the former, aka the Charter. Her real colleagues can see everything she sees, and even direct her using these green line things in a contact lens that she is wearing. They then warn her about the bad guys waiting for the cable car, and tell her that Chinese girl with English voice and token Englishman won't be able to save big Irish guy in time. So she hijacks a parachute and flies down the mountain as though she's in the opening sequence of a James Bond movie. A few stunts later, she arrives in time to save big Irish guy, but oh no, the bloke they were kidnapping has killed himself with cyanide, so the mission is a fail. Cut to England, where everyone is getting on with personal stuff, and we become a bit more connected to Chinese girl with English voice and token Englishman as they sit around in a cafe talking openly about intelligence matters in English accents, except of course for Gal Gadot, who seems incapable of affecting another accent. I wonder how she managed to explain how very foreign she sounds when she joined MI6. As a quick aside, MI6 only employed UK citizens with parents who were both born in the UK up until 2018, when they decided that they would allow people whose parents weren't born in the UK to join, though the person applying must still be born in the UK. And this was all in the name of diversity. And I can't help but think that MI6 must be a very compromised intelligence service when it is allowing people who have very, very little connection and investment in the country to become one of our most important lines of defence. Anyway, after chattering for a bit, token Englishman brings up the Charter. Dun dun dun, yes they know about the Charter, but it's a myth, a legend. No one knows if it's real, except Rachel Stone who works for it. Big Irishman is then very strangely insistent that the Charter doesn't exist, almost as if he works for it too, and is trying to obfuscate for it. But there is no time to worry about his strange insistence, because now that the Charter has been awkwardly shoehorned into the story, we can forget about it again for a while because they have been called out on another mission, this time to find bad Indian hacker girl. The mission goes sideways immediately when they are attacked in an apartment by Milo Yiannopoulos and a bunch of gunmen. Things are looking pretty bad. Chinese girl with English accent ends up fighting Milo Yiannopoulos. And no, I don't know when he became an international spy and hard man, but it does kind of make sense. He is an unpredictable kind of guy, and he's tougher than you would have thought. Chinese girl with English accent fights very valiantly, and I was rooting for her to kick his ass. This fight ended up making her my favourite character because she just never gives up, which is a trait I really approve of. Rachel can't stand to see them die, so she blows her cover and comes out of the closet as a master spy field agent for the Charter, and saves them all, because she is just awesome. They all escape in a van, cue what is actually a pretty good chase scene. And then Rachel tells everyone that she works for the Charter. And just as they all gasp and say, "I told you so," big Irish guy shoots Chinese girl with English accent and token Englishman. Then manages to paralyze Rachel with a poisoned dagger. And before she loses consciousness, he tells her that he has been trying to find the Charter for a long time. And then he needs her so that he can get hold of the Charter's supercomputer, the Heart, so he can use it to take over the world. And then he injects her with a hacking tracking device. Rachel is then picked up by the Charter and taken to their headquarters, where she is put in the medical center. Indian hacker girl uses the hacking tracking device in Rachel to access the Charter's network and find out where the Heart is. And it turns out it's in an airship, which should be a pretty secure location. But Indian hacker girl programs the ship to go lower so that big Irish guy can get on board and steal the Heart. The Charter find out that they've been hacked, but don't know what happened. So they just blame Rachel for the hack and disavow her. But Rachel is a strong, independent woman, and ain't nobody gonna tell her that she's fired. So she reavows herself and goes after the airship where the Heart is to stop big Irish guy stealing it. She fails, and Irish guy rules the world. The end. At least that's how it would have probably ended. But instead, we get a story about these three kings of the Charter who have been with the agency for a long time. And in the past, they sanctioned an attack on something or other that the British were doing. And the big Irish guy was nearly killed. So he decided to get revenge on them by stealing the Heart and using it to destroy the Charter and kill the kings, which he does, so yay for him, job well done. But he is betrayed by Indian hacker girl, who gives Rachel the location of the Heart so that she can come and get it back. Rachel then comes and has a fight with big Irish guy. Now in reality we all know that he only has to hit her once, just once, and that fight would be over. But since this is a movie and Rachel is the bestest, baddest bitch to ever walk the earth, she wins and gets the Heart back. And everyone lives happily ever after, except of course for the two MI6 agents who were the only characters that had any emotional development within the story. And who both got killed off because the writers thought it would be all brutal and stuff. And everyone would be like, oh man, they just killed those guys out of nowhere. Whereas in fact, killing them left the movie with no heart and no one to actually care for, since no one else actually has much of a story. Indian hacker girl then gets let off of all her crimes and joins the charter to help save the world from, well, people like her, really. I guess it takes one to know one. Maybe she can star with all her Indian conmen brethren who make so many people's lives a misery. And there you have it, Mission Impossible Light. And the lightest bit is the story, which you could use as tracing paper. Gal Gadot is no Tom Cruise, though I can see why Hollywood is trying to push her as an action hero since she has good physicality. But maybe she should stick to supporting and co-starring roles, since she doesn't seem to be able to carry a movie on her own. Anyway, I am bored as hell after reliving that disappointment, and I'm off to watch Tango and Cash because somehow my lovely partner has never seen it, but then she did live in a desert for most of her life, so I guess we can make some allowances. This has been Movie Suck, thinking that perhaps the current Hollywood writers' strike isn't such a bad thing. Signing out, leave a like, share, subscribe, and I will catch you awesome dudes on the flip side.